Hi, so this is video number one in a series of 3 videos focusing on the 4 qualities that Karen Purvis teaches that youth need to be able to know in order to be a successful adult. So a lot of times parents, can get really nervous. Are their children going to be ready, to face the real world, to face real life? And so they try to, teach them all things that they think that they need to know in order to face real life. But sometimes in the parents' fear of, maybe not being sure exactly what they need or what to do in certain situations and that whole just, transfer of responsibility, they can do things which maybe drive the youth away from them or just cause a lot of frustration and anxiety in that relationship because of the fear that the parents have. I mean, if somebody's acting out of fear, whatever action that it is probably not going to have a real good result. So a lot of times we do that. We, try to fix a situation or try to do things out of fear or anxiety or other kinds of negative emotions, and we don't want to do that. So Karen Purvis, she's a co-founder of the program at Texas Christian University for, it's called Trust-Based Institute, and they teach how to reconnect with children from broken places. So the 4 things that she teaches that as long as a youth has this, they can be a successful adult are: number 1, to have autonomy; number 2, to be able to give nurture; number 3, to be able to receive nurture; and number 4, to be able to negotiate your needs. So I'm going to do, this video is on autonomy. The next one will be on giving and receiving nurture. I just stuck those into one. And then the third video will be on negotiating your needs. So, so if these things are so important for being able to be a successful adult, what are they? So what is autonomy? The definition of autonomy is being able to have it's self-government. So basically what it means is being able to have a strong sense of self and being able to take responsibility for all of your own actions and decisions in life. So a lot of times we want to blame other people. Well, I was late because you didn't clean your room, or I'm, being rude to you because you're rude to me. Or we like to blame other people for the actions that we are taking, but we can't do that. Like, we have to have a strong sense of who we are and that we are taking full responsibility for all of our own actions in life, for our direction in life. I think sometimes we even want to, blame God, because God put me in this situation, I'm reacting like this. And even I was doing that a while ago. Like, I felt God called me to ministry, but in a way I felt like he called it to me so strongly that I couldn't really say no. But for me to feel like that I can't say no, like that's being a non-powerful person. I'm not taking responsibility for my own actions. So yeah, maybe this is the path that God wants me, but I have to be able to be like, okay, I'm choosing this for myself. I see, God's leading, but I'm choosing it, and this is what I want to do. So it's very easy for us to do, just in a lot of different scenarios and ways, to put blame on other people or on God. I think a lot of times, especially if you're putting a blame on God, they can't really realize what you're doing. So one of the biggest things for me in creating more autonomy is being able to acknowledge my own feelings and emotions. So when I was young, I didn't want to be a girl and all emotional and crying and falling apart all the time. And then I also thought, like, well, I'm a good Christian. I'm not jealous. I'm not disappointed. I'm not, I'm good. I can handle this. So because I had those 2 attitudes of not wanting, to show emotion and be weak, and also I thought that if I ignored emotions that I didn't think were very godly or right, that they would go away. So, but because I always ignored any kind of emotions or feelings I had and I didn't really accept that they were there, that didn't set me up for being able to accept other people's emotions very well either. Like, and to not be accepting someone else's would kind of look like I'm just trying to brush it away, or, it'll be okay, and sometimes maybe that's fine, but you're not validating what the other person is feeling if you're just wanting to brush it away or fix it for them real quick, or like brother Danny Silk talks a lot about being a powerful person. Like, that's how he describes having autonomy, as being a powerful person. And his definition of a powerful person is the same thing as autonomy, like taking responsibility for all of your own actions and decisions. So this is one of the vital things that we need to have in order to be able to deal with other people. And for me, I had to give myself space to accept and acknowledge myself for who I am, my experiences, in order to be able to acknowledge someone else's. And so I know I don't feel like I explained that very well, but autonomy is having a strong sense of self, acknowledging yourself, who you are, being real with yourself, and accepting responsibility for all of your actions and decisions.